Somewhere around here and
Okay.
do a briefing at some point soon.
Sounds
so
good.
just be ready for it.
What do you need? set up, and then it can switch off, and then he can get out.
My ISB will not pick up.
Everything out. They want parents to come here behind me at this Dean Clinic at Stoughton Road and Badger Road. And over here, this is the media staging area. If you want to pan a little bit to the right, you can see other members of the media here getting set up, getting close to but I'll step out of the way so our photographer can zoom in. You can see the lobby of this new health clinic. A lot of parents have been showing up.
Our top story here, the Chicago City Council will meet this afternoon to take up Mayor Brandon Johnson's fourth budget proposal.
Saul Rasai is at City Hall with what this new plan does and does not have.
A lot ahead today, and we know council members met through the weekend in hopes of striking a deal this afternoon. Mayor Brandon Johnson's latest budget proposal removes the $68.5 million property tax hike altogether. There's a nearly $1 billion budget gap that needs to be made up here. The latest plan asks for a delay in a $40 million debt that was due in full this year, but the city would still need to pay back that later. The city would also crack down on sports and special event organizers to reimburse the city for police overtime. And it would cut nearly $3 million in middle management. Late last night in a letter, 15 members of council asked the mayor to dig even deeper. They're proposing far more cuts to trim over $800 million in city costs.
Going back to the structure and what you saw even at the 11th hour, where these gimmicks being played, security for the city treasurer, $50,000 increase for committee chairs, $30,000 increase. So I think we need to do a harder, deeper dive into what actually are redundancies and really trimming the budget around those issues. So if we're able to cut this much in a short period of time, what more can we cut to right size this thing so we're not facing the problems in 2020, in 2026, and 2027?
And Mayor Johnson has vowed to listen to incoming suggestions, but the clock is ticking. A city shutdown is possible if a deal is not made by December 31st. That's just over 2 weeks away now. We'll stay tuned in to see if a vote happens today. Reporting at City Hall, I'm Saul Rasai, CBS News Chicago.
This is breaking news from CBS News Chicago.
Major with breaking news from CBS News Chicago. We are following reports of a shooting at a Christian school in Madison, Wisconsin. These initial reports coming in for police say that multiple people have been shot and are injured. We do not know how serious those injuries are. Calls reporting this shooting came in from that school just before 11 a.m. And if you know Madison, this campus is at 4901 East Buckeye Road. That is on the east side of the city. The school is K through 12. It serves about 200 families in that community. At this point, there is no information on the status of the possible shooter or shooters. For that reason, the scene is considered active, and they are asking people in that area to stay away. Here we are getting a live picture of, I believe, what is the campus from our CBS News crews. We are expecting an update from police in about 10 minutes from Madison. We will bring you much more as we learn it. This has been a CBS News Chicago breaking news update.
This has been breaking news from CBS News Chicago.
Disturbing allegations this morning from inside the Metro Police Department. An investigation into the department shows claims of racism, promiscuity, and favoritism. According to the Daily Herald, Metro hired a law firm back in 2023 to review these accusations. The newspaper says alleged breaches include multiple officers sleeping with each other on duty, a sergeant harassing new female officers, including calling one frequently at night while she was off duty, and officers only conducting arrests and traffic stops toward Hispanics because they, quote, may not be legal. The Daily Herald says when they asked Metro to release more information, they said that wasn't possible because it contains privileged communications and attorney-worked product.
Now to Englewood, where firefighters battled flames near 59th and Ashland after a break-in there. Police tell us two men used bolt cutters to get inside the business and tried to open a safe. When the intruders could not get it open, they set the building on fire. No one was hurt. The arson unit is investigating, but right now no one is in custody.
Chicago police officers relieved of duties after a weekend shooting in the Austin neighborhood. We're going to show you the scene here. Several cars hit with bullets. Police say it started when a man was dropped off near Mayfield and Fillmore. He got out of a vehicle that had 2 off-duty officers inside.
Red jacket.
Just, yeah, be on the lookout.
Yep.
Sure. I don't have any new info, but I can do something. Yeah, let me show you the makeup of this area. Again, behind us is Buckeye Hills Estate. It's a neighborhood. So many neighbors have been out here, just really shocked, of course, of
Willie
the
Wilson
scene.
and several pastors are handing out $25 to each inmate. They also offered words of encouragement and hope for the season. The monetary gift is going in the accounts of more than 5,000 detainees.
And so we're going to get some word of encouragement today to all of them. Like I said, this is our 4th time this year. And Lord willing, we want to take going into 2025. We need to break the record in terms of helping other people. And I intend to do that in 2025.
As Wilson mentioned, this is the 4th time they have visited the jail this year.
I'm listening to a friend of mine in Florida. He's watching on Fox News. So if you want casualties.
that information is valid. We're going to be speaking with police here, hopefully in the next 5 or 10 minutes or so. But again, this is the reunification spot just across the street from the Quick Trip here at Buckeye Road and Stoughton Road. This is where parents are being told to go to meet up with their students, although that might take some time to get this on the floor and get everyone who told me that they were feeling terrified. Didn't know what to think here at the hospital. He was just trying to rush over to get those specifics, to get any information at all that he could get about this student's well-being right now. But again, parents experiencing their absolute worst day of their lives probably right now as they try to figure out exactly what's happening here. You can tell that we're driving, but I'm about 12:15, which is obviously any minute now. We're still waiting on that. Hopefully we can get some information as far as what is happening. But what we're looking at right now is we're looking at this health clinic. Just about a mile or so down the road from the public lots of police officers, lots of paramedics. There's a fire truck in the parking lot, as well as parents continue to file into the lobby there. Reaching out this health clinic looking for any kind of answers. Police originally told us to come here as the media staging area to this health clinic. We parked in that parking lot, and then when they saw we had a camera, they told us that the media staging area is going to be at the Quick Trip, and they were hoping that parents were going to come here. I ran into a few parents who just didn't want to talk. Obviously, they are going through a lot right now, and they are just trying to show up and just figure out any information about their loved ones up the street here at the Abundant Life Christian School. So we're going to stay here on the scene, hopefully speak with Madison police here very shortly. I saw the public information officer. She is on scene. She was usually the one who disseminates information to the media, which then we give out to you. So hopefully we can speak with her just a moment here, and we'll carry that press conference live as soon as that happens. But again, hopefully that happens any minute now. But reporting from the east side here, I'm Tim Elliott for 15 News. We'll send it back to you.
can hear. This is Pazorski. Took video of the cops going there when it was happening.
You like send me a text or are you on Facebook? Can you send like a Facebook message? Is that possible?
Yeah, let me make sure I have it. Okay. I have two different videos. This one's a 30-second video.
Any of it.
But I have the 2 minutes and 35 seconds. Yeah, how do I send it to you?
Either through Facebook or text.
I'm up there. Yeah, I'm up down.
think Mark's getting a stick mic right
Okay.
now.
At the Abundant Life Christian School here in Madison. When officers arrived, they found multiple victims suffering from gunshot wounds. We train on this almost quarterly. The last time we trained on this as commanders was approximately 2 weeks ago. The protocols are simple. Stop the killing, stop the dying, find out who's doing this. And the officers did that, and they did that adamantly. We had officers from around the county and around the state that came in support of this particular incident. Officers located a juvenile who they believe was responsible for this deceased in the building. Additionally, the officers began administering life-saving efforts to anyone who was wounded and making sure that those persons were transported. What we know is that a total of about 7 persons were transported from the scene to area hospitals for treatment. We know that at least 3 people have lost their lives, including a juvenile person. I don't have any other information about those persons who have lost their lives, and I'm not going to release that until we have, of course, spoken with family members and ensuring that they are fully aware of this tragic scene that occurred today. I want to thank all of the law enforcement partners and community members that came out to help, our friends at the ATF. I've gotten calls from my friends at the FBI, the State Patrol, the Sheriff's Office, Monona Police Department, our fire department. It goes on and on and on. Because this is something that we all prepare for, but we hope we never have to do. As you can see, we have a unification center that was immediately set up where parents and guardians and loved ones and grandparents wanted to get information about their loved ones, and we wanted to make sure that they were unified immediately. So we were doing more than one thing at one time. We're still going through methodically clearing that school, clearing every vehicle, and making certain that there's no other threats to this community, which we believe there are none. We immediately alerted our mayor's office, and I've been on the phone with her and her office constantly. We also alerted Madison schools. We put the schools on lockdown, but there's no threats to MMSD schools at this time. But we wanted to make sure that we did our due diligence in this particular case. Again, we're still going through collecting evidence, collecting information, making sure that our community is safe from what is a sad day for our community and for our country. And we have to do a little bit better. I don't have all the answers that you want right now, but I will tell you this: we have some of the best officers in the entire country. Our detectives are amazing. We're going to go and work hard and go through this scene so that we can piece together what exactly happened. Again, there'll be another briefing in about 2 hours, and if I have additional information, I will certainly let you know what that information is. Again, around 10:57 a.m., officers responded to an active shooter. They responded per our protocol. They found the person who they believe was responsible, who was down, deceased. We know that it's juvenile. We know that there are other persons who have lost their lives. We know that we've transported about 7 people after giving them life-saving measures. It's important to notice, too, that about 3 miles from here is our training center. Today, our special event team medics were in training. And so they got to practice in real time. They left the training center immediately and came down here and doing in real time what they were actually practicing for. And that's why training is so important, and making sure that we can provide the best possible training and the best possible response for our community members. I'm asking everyone to send your heartfelt wishes and prayers and thoughts yet again to a community, but this time it's my community. Dylan?
Yeah, can we start over here with questions?
Chief, you mentioned you're a father, you're the police chief here in Madison. What emotions are you feeling right now after going through all that?
To be honest with you, I'm feeling a little dismayed now. So close to Christmas. Every child, every person in that building is a victim and will be a victim forever. And these types of trauma don't just go away. And we need to figure out and try to piece together what exactly happened. And right now, my heart is heavy for my community. My heart is heavy for Madison, and we have to come together as a community and figure out what happened here and make sure that it doesn't happen in any other place that should be a refuge for students in our community.
Right there.
What sort of gun-related policies, if any, were in place at the school, and did the school have metal detectors?
I'm not aware that the school had metal detectors, nor should schools have metal detectors. It's a school, it's a safe space. So I don't know. Again, it is a private Christian school. It is not under the authority of MMSDs, and that is something that we'll have to look into.
Chief, of the 7 victims, how many are students? How many are teachers?
I'm not going to give any information about who the victims are, whether they're students, staff, or parents, because we need to make sure that we can notify people. I think that's the most important thing before we go any further.
But police didn't. They never fired their weapons.
That is correct.
Correct.
Let's follow that one question.
I don't know if it's a male or female, but the police department did not fire their weapons. Thank you.
Scott.
Are the 3 fatalities you mentioned including the suspected shooter?
That's correct. Yes, sir.
3 total.
That's correct.
Are the 7 that was transported, are the 3 fatalities within that 7 or addition to that?
Yes, within that 7, yes. Thank you.
Was the shooter a student at the school?
We believe the shooter was a student at the school, yes.
What can you tell us about the status of the other transports?
We know that they range from minor injuries to life-threatening. I know that's a huge, spectrum, but that's what we know now. And so we need everyone, again, to send your thoughts and your prayers out to them. One thing I do know is that we have some of the best medical care in the country here in Madison. And so we hope that everyone will recover, but at this time, we don't know.
So we did just get an update from our command post. 5 deceased at this time, 5 injured.
So a total of 10.
You know what kind of gun was used?
Again, this is a ever evolving situation. Just hearing that, what does that make you think? How does that make you feel? That we have to do a better job in our community on a Monday, right? So close to Christmas, that we're updating victims. And so there's a lot of work that has to be done. And we're committed to doing that work. We just ask for your patience. I think the most important part is the reunification, again, that we spoke about, making sure that those persons who were in the schools, whether they're staff, students, or what have you, are reunified, and we have done that. Again, I want to say thank you to all our partners. Again, our friends are here from the ATF. They're going to help us. I heard the question about the gun. I don't know yet, which is why we have a great partnership with the ATF that will help us determine the origin of this gun and where it happened. So I'm going to leave it at that, and we will have another press conference. Stephanie has the location.
We're doing 2:30 at Fire Station 14 in their community room. 2:30, Fire Station 14.
Steph,
Okay.
Can you confirm the 5 who are dead? Does that include the shooter? That doesn't include
It would,
Are the
yes.
victims
it would.
students, teachers, a mix?
Yeah, again, we're not going to talk about that until we notify all the families that may be involved. Again, this is an ever evolving situation, and we're trying to figure it out. What did you say, ma'am?
Has the school been cleared? Are all the students out of the school?
The school has been through a secondary clearing. We're doing another one now with the help of bomb dogs, just in case. We want to clear vehicles and things of that nature. So we're going to take our time, and we're going to go through and we're going to do everything that we can. So thank you very much, and we'll see you soon.
Okay,
Thank you.
Fire Station 14 in the community room.
Are the students still in the school right now? They're out.
There you hear it, a tragic update from the police chief in Madison, Wisconsin. As of right now, 5 people dead. An Abundant Life Christian school there in Madison, Wisconsin. This is a Christian school there where an active shooter call came in at 10:57. In addition to the 5 dead, we know that there were several people that were injured and taken to local hospitals. That number seems to be fluid as this is a situation that's currently unfolding. What we do know from the police chief is that the officer said they found a juvenile suspect dead inside of that school building. So as of right now, the suspect is down. They're working on clearing the school and that campus, and at this point, the chief believes there is no further threat to any of the schools there in that immediate area or within the larger Madison, Wisconsin area. What we know about Abundant Life Christian School is that this is a community that serves about 200 families. 390 students total, ranging from kindergarten through senior year of high school. What we don't know is the identity of the 5 dead or those who were hurt. The police chief says they are working to contact families and reunite families in some cases, so until they have more information, they will not be sharing the identity of who those people are. As of right now, we are watching some coverage in this video you see here of crews in Madison, Wisconsin. So that is a reporter there who's working on getting some live interviews. We continue to gather information ourselves. Again, we don't know the extent of the injuries from this shooting. There's no word yet even on a weapon used by what we're told is that single shooter who's a juvenile, again, who was found dead inside of that school. We know shortly after the initial call came in, just before 11 a.m. of that active shooter, about 20 minutes later, an alert was sent to phones in the area. No doubt some community members who have children at the school and parents as well, asking them to stay away as Madison police approached the building. That is where they came upon not only the victims, the people who were hurt that were rushed to local hospitals, and also to the shooter who was found dead inside of that building. We have partners there from our CBS crews who are feeding us this video, giving us a look at that emergency response from the scene. They are sharing with us what it looked like in the moments after the response. There you see an ambulance going by, taking the people to a local hospital. What is difficult, as you heard the at times emotional police chief of Madison, Wisconsin talk about, was that this is a school shooting and it's something that should never happen. It causes immeasurable grief to so many families. Having this be what is likely the last full week of school there at Abundant Life Christian School before the Christmas holiday, no doubt makes it even more difficult. We now want to listen into one of our reporters from CBS who's covering this school shooting on the scene.
Probably some really bad stuff, and then I waited for another probably 10 minutes and more cop cars came. I would say in total like 70 or 80 cop cars came by before I left. I had to make an errand, and then now I came back and I went to the bank and they were talking about it, and I gave them a little information about where I was and what happened. And then I came back and I couldn't even go home yet, so I'm kind of still worried about the situation.
Yeah. And then Abundant Life Christian School is really close to where you live.
Yep.
How does it feel to have a school shooting so close to home to you?
Yeah, it's a little shocking. You always see it on TV that it happens somewhere else, and you feel bad, but you don't realize the situation when it's here in your back. It's basically a block away from me, so it's my backyard, and it's very scary. Yeah.
Guy, thank you for talking to me. I really appreciate it. I'm really sorry that you're dealing with this so close to your home.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I wish you the best.
I hope everything ends up okay.
Me too.
Okay.
Eric, we're going to stay here and talk to some more neighbors and hopefully talk to some parents as well. This is a very sad day, and it's not easy to be out here.
We've been listening into a local reporter there in Madison, Wisconsin from our CBS affiliates covering the school shooting. Abundant Life Christian School in Madison, Wisconsin, a place where some 390 students showed up to school today. We understand that 5 people from this community have lost their lives. We do not yet know if they are students, teachers, staff, parents, anyone else who may have been in that building. Waiting on that update from Madison Police. We do expect to hear from them in another 2 hours with more information. At this point, this scene is as secured as it possibly could be in this early time after this school shooting, because we know a juvenile suspect, according to the chief of police, is dead inside of that school building. They're saying there is no longer a threat not only to this school community but the public. He also mentioned a reunification center for many of the students and no doubt their worried sick families, I believe at a local fire station not too far from that campus. We don't know many details at this point as to how the shooter entered that school. If they were a current student, we only know they were a juvenile. We do not know what kind of weapon was used. We aren't 100% sure about the security perimeter that Abundant Life Christian School may have had set up. We'll continue to follow this to fill in more of those details as this story unfolds. For now, we will get an update from CBS News.
14 in their community room, 230, Fire Station 14.
Steph, can you confirm the 5 who are dead? Does that include the shooter?
That does include
It would,
Are the
yes.
victims
It would.
students, teachers, a mix?
Yeah, again, we're not going to talk about
families,
that until we notify all the families that may be involved. Again, this is an ever evolving situation, and we're trying to figure it out. What did you say,
Has
man?
the school been cleared? Are all the students out of the school?
The school has been through a secondary clearing. We're doing another one now with the help of bomb dogs, just in case. We want to clear vehicles and things of that nature. So we're going to take our time and we're going to go through and we're going to do everything that we can. So thank you very much, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Fire Station 14.
Once again, that was the Madison, Wisconsin police chief updating us. At least 5 people are dead, including the person that they believe to be the juvenile shooter, who they believe was a student at the school. And 5 are injured after a shooting at Abundant Life Christian School, a private Christian school. Years after the mass shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary School in Connecticut. I want to bring in Anna Schechter. She leads the CBS News crime beat, covering crime and public safety for CBS News and stations. And a couple more top lines that police never fired their weapons. What else stood out to you in that press conference on just such a horrible tragedy?
Well, the fact that the shooter is a student there, I believe it's a K-12 school, so that tells you something about what the profile might be. Interesting that police did not fire any shots. It does sound like a self-inflicted gunshot wound. And, you know, this is a very organized operation. They were ready to go. They had police at the local hospital triaging people. Now the FBI is aware, involved, the ATF. So we don't have any information about the gun, but we should be getting that soon. The ATF is going to be working to trace that back. So lots of moving parts right now. Lots of different investigative bodies supporting this effort right now. And it is just an unimaginable tragedy that we hear about so often.
Unfortunately, we heard the police chief there saying they train for things like this all the time. Unfortunately, their commanders, fortunately or unfortunately, how you want to look at it, their commanders trained just 2 weeks ago on an active shooter situation. And he said they've already gone through the building a secondary time to clear. He said they're going in again with bomb dogs and also to clear vehicles. Can you help describe what's being done right now?
Sure. What they do is a sweep of the school. So they don't know if the shooter had other plans. Sometimes you have somebody with a gun, but who also has an improvised explosive device that they've placed somewhere else. So everybody is on maximum high alert, and they are sort of playing out multiple scenarios for other threats. And they've already done a threat assessment. They've swept it twice. They're doing another one. So they're being extra cautious because you never know. They're probably going to be looking towards motive. Of course, that's a parallel investigative track that is likely underway already interviewing this individual's family members, friends, eyewitnesses. All this is going to be going what I like to call the first draft of history, put into police reports that then a prosecutor would use. And in this case, that the suspect is deceased, this is still going to be going into, they're going to be putting out a report with everything that they find, likely doing follow-up trainings. They're looking also, how can they prevent this type of thing? A community like Madison, Wisconsin, they are sort of on the forefront. They're very progressive in the way that they sort of attack these kinds of problems. And so this is going to be factoring into trainings in the future, red flags. I mean, red flag warnings, that's a big thing that law enforcement agencies across the country are looking into, and maybe there were some signs here that were missed.
Joining us right now is CBS News national security contributor Samantha Vinograd. She served as former Assistant Secretary for Counterterrorism at the Department of Homeland Security. Sam, we know that you have experience in investigating these types of tragedies, school shootings. What can you tell us about what is being done right now?
Well, Lindsay, having worked to try to prevent these kinds of school shootings and then unfortunately dealing with the aftermath of these horrific incidents, I can tell you that there are several ongoing concurrent lines of effort at this time. As the police chief mentioned, unfortunately, it is a sign of the times that law enforcement jurisdictions have well-oiled plans to respond to these kinds of incidents. So right now, concurrently, law enforcement is ensuring that there is no ongoing threat, not just to the school, but to the public, while they gather more information about the deceased active shooter, the suspect. They are likely working to identify the biographic information associated with this individual, to comb the individual's social media to see if the individual was in touch with anybody else, seeking a warrant for the individual's home and other belongings, perhaps a vehicle, again, to try to ascertain whether this individual was a lone wolf, acted alone, or there are potentially other ongoing threats from individuals that may have been in touch with the shooter. At the same time, law enforcement and medical personnel are, in the first instance, always most focused on containing the threat and providing medical support to the victims. We heard from the police chief that medical support was provided very quickly, not only because the emergency units train on these situations in such a rapid fashion. Concurrently, psychological and trauma services will be provided immediately to all of the victims at a standard operating procedure. And reunification, we know a reunification center has been set up. Reunification of parents, family members, not just the students, but affected administrators and faculty is also underway. I will note, we have heard, Lindsay, that the FBI and the ATF are aware of the incident and working with state and local law enforcement. This is a Christian private school. There could be a hate crime or counterterrorism nexus, which authorities will investigate.
All right, Sam Vinograd, thank you. Our thanks as well to Anna Schechter. To recap the breaking news from Madison, Wisconsin, at least 5 are dead and 5 injured after a shooting at Abundant Life Christian School, which has nearly 400 students from kindergarten through 12th grade. Police say the juvenile suspect, who is believed to be a student at the school, is among the dead. CBS News has learned President Biden has been briefed. Our coverage will continue on CBS News 24/7, your local news, and tonight on the CBS Evening News. This has been a CBS News Special Report. I'm Lindsay Reiser.
I'm sure Milwaukee will show up momentarily. Yes. Correct.
Took off?
I was going to say, it's been about an hour and a half, so.
Although Herm was probably in Milwaukee for them, so I guess it's just a conversation.
What's this mic flag over here? Can you guys see?
I can't tell.
You know who that is?
I can't tell. Huh?
Someone say something?
I don't know. Heckling.
Yeah.
Thanks for the gloves.
Sure.
A little bit.
It's like, I'm sure if I wasn't preparing my coworker's coat, I was like, I grabbed it off his
I know.
I gotta wear your coat.
I know, these are his gloves. Thank you, by the way.
CBS 2 News streams here. CBS News Chicago. Committed to telling your stories. CBS 2. Keeping you safer, sooner. CBS 2 First Alert Weather. CBS 2 News streams here. CBS News Chicago. Committed to telling your stories. CBS 2. Keeping you safer sooner. CBS 2 First Alert Weather.